you are, a tyrant.
I've been called worse.
You're a tyrant. You go home and kick your wife too?
You know what?
Ow! What are you doing? Ow!
No, don't try to grab it. Dude, look, after I'm out of here, look, let's go looking. We're going in there. Dude, stop! Give me the stuff. I'm not resisting. Give me your close. Hey! Put your hands on me. Let's go.
Oh, what an assault. Don't do it, Laurel.
Sir, leave the premises.
You want to lose your job. Guys!
Going in.
No, you're not going in.
Don't touch me.
You're not going in, sir.
Let the record show that you just battered me.
Step back.
And you're using...
Wow.
That's what I did. I tell you what, I fit right in. If I talk like that, I tell you some bitch. Right? But they think I smoke meth because I ain't got no teeth in the front.
Just so you guys know, he's big. I'm big. I'm bigger than everybody I know. But typically, I'm physically bigger than everybody around. Hey, we just met. Can you go ahead and get on the wall, spread your butt cheeks for me?
I'm not going to give him to this guy, though. I'll give him some else.
No, they're gonna go to my marshal.
He's a pig.
Excuse me?
I said he's a pig.
He called the officers here in my courtroom today pigs, and he's knocking his head up and down. So apparently he hates every law enforcement officer in the United States. All right, please stand up, sir. I hereby sentence you to 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 1, 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 2, to run consecutive for a total of 180 days in custody.
Sentence suspended or?
Oh no, we're gonna start right now.
This is travesty of justice. The Illinois police.
Mr. DeCastro was convicted. He is given 6 months in jail. One thing I know he's going to do today is, for no other purpose, no matter what your ruling is, he wants to say sorry. I've asked him if he'd say sorry to the court. I also noticed that at time of sentencing, the state asked for a suspended sentence, but I think he pushed this and is learning a very difficult lesson in life. Inappropriate behavior in a courtroom looks like and feels like.
Ridiculous behavior in court. That wasn't why I sentenced him to jail. I sentenced him because I found him guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
You saw his conduct in the body-worn camera by the officer. This was not a First Amendment issue. The state stands by that. This was simply the defendant breaking the law. It's an appropriate sentence imposed by the court to the defendant. Mr. DeCastro is no longer cloaked with the presumption of innocence. He has been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
All right, so your motion is denied.
All right. What up there, man?
Oh, I think it was months and months after we met that I spread my butt cheeks for you.
Yeah.
It had to have been.
Speaking months, next week will be 1 year my first live stream.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. July, let's see, July this year will be our first live stream together.
Oh my God. We gotta have some kind of.
Got a cake made, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can send you the one that I baked with a file in it to Chille. You got returned to me.
Well, I was so happy to find out you were my new neighbor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Inside joke.
Inside joke.
For some of the audience who knows what you're talking about, and everybody else is.
All right. So what's been going on with you?
Spent 3 hours at the goddamn vet today.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Is what it is.
Yeah. DP's got a cat that's older than Moses. So,
yeah.
But got the spirit of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, but it's what it is. Yeah, other than that, Just another Chille call. Well, two more that we haven't done.
Right.
What I understood.
Yeah, this
Patrick
last
Dart.
one was pretty short.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. I tried to start listening to it in the
it's not much.
Actually the vet office, but I was like, I don't want anybody thinking I'm listening to this guy. Well, first of all, I just didn't want to play it out loud. You know what I mean?
Expose yourself at the vet
I just
office.
didn't want to draw any attention to.
Oh, how's everybody tonight? Let's see what we got going on over there. Hi, Bon. How are you? I hope you're doing better. Hi, Linda.
Yeah, I see you all in there. I'm trying to connect my goddamn StreamYard on my laptop here to the. It's telling me to open the Gmail up on the phone, and that's not doing anything. So.
And there's Liz. Hi, Liz. How are you tonight?
So I can't say hi to everybody in the chat just yet. We'll see.
Great.
Now it's updating Gmail. Jeez.
Gia, I guess Unclean Hands is in here. IUH. Somebody said hi to him. There he is. Yep. Good evening, buddy.
What's up, everybody? I don't know where your probiotics are, Super 23. We got them on order. Yeah. Somebody, from what I gather, his latest phone call has something to do with either not eating or a hunger strike or some dumb bullshit. I don't know. Should we just go ahead and fire that up real quick?
Yeah, give me a minute to get, hang on here a minute. Let me get this kind of acclimated here real quick. I got to get into the comments. I'm on the other, I see a super chat already. Salad Jesse DeCastro, better pull a Chille and go fund me for the next vet. Yeah, for the vet. Let's go fund me for the kitty. Yes, ma'am.
I'd rather not do that. But
let me get acclimated here. Yep, make sure I got so many browsers open. I don't want to click the wrong button. All right.
Don't push that button.
Don't push that button. That button. All right, so we want to go Chille first, huh?
Yeah.
Might as well. May as well. This is the phone call that came in a few hours ago. It looks like the 13th. Yep, May 13th. Report from jail. And there he is.
Oh, goody.
So here we go.
2024. My name is Chille DeCastro. I'm a journalist who's been wrongfully imprisoned in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is my daily journalistic update. I try to stay as current as I can. However, between all of the things going on, and there are multiple things, sometimes I can't give a daily update. You can check my community tab, and people will post in there to let you guys know that I'm all right. I'm okay right now. I just finished a 3-day fast here in the dungeon. And then there was really bad food to break my fast with, so it was rough. I mean, it was really rough. And I got through it though. A little bit of stomach problems from breaking that 3-day fast, but I'm okay. And I'm going to continue to do 3-day fast. I'm going to eat for 2 days right now, and then I'm going to do another 3-day fast. As far as my appeal brief and what's going on with that, you can take a look at the appeal. It's now on legalawz.com. Legalawz.com. We have a motion for an enlargement of pages on May 23rd, 2024, here at the District Court, 200 Lewis Avenue in Las Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to be at that hearing or not. I've chosen not to attend these optional hearings where only my lawyer needs to show up. So I don't know if I'm going to show up for that hearing, but it is on May 23rd, 2023.
I didn't have a chance to catch all of Patrick Darcy's video today. Is that what he covered today? Is that motion? Is that what he was in his video?
No, it's about his federal.
The federal one. Yeah, okay.
3 for an enlargement of pages for the appeal brief, which again, you should read it. It reads like a newspaper. It's on legalawz.com. Easy to find. As we continue down this road, I have to make sure that I stay as even-keeled and level-headed as I possibly can. So I've been reading a lot of Ayn Rand. I've read
Good luck.
The Fountainhead, and now I'm reading The Virtues of Selfishness. The Virtues of Selfishness, if you're going to read it, you have to make sure you have a dictionary sitting next to you. But it teaches you virtue.
You
about
might.
self-esteem, reason, and purpose. And the reason I understand more about who I am, why I am, how I am, more now because I read her books. I'm a huge fan. Easily my number one favorite book of all time is Atlas Shrugged now. I've read it a couple times. I read different passages of it all the time. But that guiding light of understanding self-esteem, reason, and purpose, to me, boy, it has put everything in perspective for me. And if you live by your truth, which I do, then you're going to have people who are haters that can't stand that you tell your truth out loud so emphatically, so clearly, and they hate it. It drives them crazy that you would be so honest and unapologetic about the truth. Virtues and Selfishness is only 150 pages, and the first chapter is a synopsis of Atlas Shrugged, pretty much. And then chapter 3 is about friendship. Really good article on friendship. It's broken down into little chapters. I highly recommend you read it. It's a really good book. And then also what I'm doing is I'm nailing down constitutional law scholar again, which includes studying the presidents, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the states and inception, and the territories they came from, as well as important inventions and things that happened throughout the history of time. So I'm really nailing down the nuts and bolts of understanding the game and how it works. The game can be played competitively or can be played by children 7 years old to 10 years old who just want to learn history. I really put together something that I believe at the end of the day, this will be the hook where I hang my hat at the end of the day, where people say, you know, what did this man accomplish? He did put out that board game, Constitutional Law Scholar. So I'm really working hard on it because I know what I can offer the world. So this is something I can offer the world where you get to learn history in a really cool and dynamic way. Yeah, and so every day is a battle. Every single day in this place is a battle. You go through emotional highs and lows. You're stuck in a room with 70 people. You're only 2 feet apart from the next guy and 4 feet apart from the guy across from you. And that's the aisleway, which is about 4 feet wide. So it's really challenging. It's really a challenging thing. And all I can do is use the media and petition when I get out of here. I hope you guys send in petitions. You're more than welcome to send in a petition to the court and ask them, or let them know, or address them and tell them that they definitely cheated me. There are people in here who have broke their wife's jaw and they got 30 days. There are people in here who stole a car, crashed a car, and then they're in here for 90 days. So what has happened to me is a travesty of justice. And then the last thing you can do is get a hold of the traditional news networks, CNN, Fox, all of them, NBC, ABC. They should all be at my hearing on July 10th. If you want to reach out to the news agencies, I'm a journalist who's been wrongfully imprisoned. Every single news outlet, from CNN to Fox News and everything in between, should be at my appeal bond hearing.
He's going to get a personal interview by Geraldo.
Reaching out to news outlets 100% and tell them a journalist has been put in jail for 6 months because the cop's feelings were hurt, that he felt unsafe. This phone's going to cut me off. I got to go. I love you guys. Thank you for your support.
Thank God.
I got to go. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
Later,
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Oh my God. Oh. And all this time, what do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? He is playing a twister game there at jail.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how revolutionary, just realistically, can a board game be? You know what I mean? It's a board game. I mean, you got dice, you got pieces.
Yeah, he had dominoes laid out in the picture there. Well, now does that come into play?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Where do you even start? That's surprise. Jeez, man. I've never the phrase laying it on thick just doesn't even cover this guy. I mean, okay, this is going to be as big. This is what he's going to leave to the world is the board game.
He's going to hang his hat on his board game.
More Ayn Rand, by the way. Develop virtue of selfishness. Yeah, that seems to be about Chille's speech. Oh my
moly! What's going on here?
See a big. He's having a hearing on 523 to get permission to exceed page limits for this appellate brief. LOL. Take a guess who called him out for a 31-page brief that violated the fast track rules for page limits. Come on, take a guess. You obtained that before you file. Wow.
Patrick, thank you. Wow.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Always good to see you in here, sir. By the way, open invitation. So if you feel like coming up, I know I watched your video earlier, and it seemed to cut off at the end, which is it's fine. I mean, I think we got the idea. But I saw in your comments you said you had we're having some editing problems, and remember, guys, Pat is not a video editor. He doesn't. I mean. He's a serious
honestly,
attorney with a serious business. So
I kind of like it.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I got the idea.
He's done that a couple times. I thought it was intentional, to be honest with you, because he's done that a couple times before. Was just
I wondered because it did just
trademark
kind of abruptly end. But then I saw in the comments that he said
right.
That he just had some problems and didn't have, and he doesn't have all day to screw around with this stuff.
That's
so
right.
That's a very understandable.
Oh, you mean he's not sitting around on YouTube making a living?
Oh yeah, I really want to say something, but I'm not gonna. So just let me know if you're available to come up, and I'll email you.
As a matter of fact, I've got your video on standby if you want to.
Yeah, we were definitely going to
go over it.
Good stuff as usual.
Absolutely. Didn't get a chance to watch it all. I did bits and pieces. I was running so late today.
Yeah, and I'd love to have you elaborate on what you just said here in the super chat as well.
Sally Jesse 1061 a month. That's right. And that's absolute truth too. I actually did the math. I went back from the time I joined YouTube and up to today. I've averaged $10.60 a month.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, a certain other attorney, whose name I'm not even trying to mention if possible, but he basically called me a bottom feeder, said I hated Chille and I'm just trying to make a living for him. Yeah.
We'll cover that.
Right. Yeah, right. I mean,
we'll get into that later.
I'm not even close to making any kind of living off this. And I found it ironic since he's gained like a couple thousand subs since he started going on Chille's channel. So I mean, that's free advertising, buddy. That's like the most valuable thing in the world. So maybe, I don't know, get off my dick. Just a thought.
Yeah.
And Draco
move out of our desert.
Right. It's our desert. Draco said also wonderful and narcissistic for $5. Narcissistic psychopath reading more Ayn Rand. RamadDB, you have your work lives cut out for you with this self-serving circle tour. Yeah, I mean this is a chore. I mean, yeah, the amount I make on any of these videos, it doesn't even come anywhere close to being profitable.
Texas Mad Dog for $10. Oops. I tried to match Patrick, but my fat finger slipped off the extra button.
Oh, that's okay. Are you here?
Hang on.
I don't. Oh, Ram. That's because it's not my thing. Ram Ram has control of that. So
Yeah, he's not up here yet. So
yeah, no.
I'm in the waiting room. I don't see him.
Click the enter studio or whatever if that's.
Yeah, one more click. I think you're one click away.
Chat says check backstage. Gotcha, Tina. Thanks. And we'll get him up as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm in backstage and he's not fire yet.
Interesting. Well, we can get his video racked up in the meantime, I guess.
I've got it racked up. Ready to go.
Ram, Dick, and Patrick walking to a bar. That bar is gonna have a good night. I agree, Kisker. I want to drink, but it would be fun. Be a fun hang for sure.
Come on, Patrick.
Yeah.
You might leave and come back in because you're definitely not backstage.
Yeah, I basically
or check your mic if your mic's not turned on.
It would give him
right. It tells you to turn it on, but that's one of the things that'll keep you from getting in backstage.
I'll re-forward it to you. I already. It's the one from today. It's the one I used, so should be good.
Yeah, we're not.
Dot.
Thank you, Yvonne. We're not mentioning the other guy's name until a little bit later.
I just don't want to.
Right.
I'm trying not to.
No, absolutely.
His name if possible. I have to, unfortunately, make a response video to him, but I just don't want to give him any airtime if possible. So, because I find him tedious and annoying. But yeah, those who live in glass houses, right, gang? Do you see Pat yet? Are you ready to start his video?
No, just you and I.
All right. Well, no, I don't think he's in an old one. I forwarded him twice. I sent him a new one. So
Project Constitution for 5. Don't forget he's threatened defamation LOL suits on the skin. This is thin as chili. Absolutely. All right. Let me I will keep an eye out for him. Let me get into this.
All right.
Get to it.
We'll get it. Could be via what, Greg?
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. You stay here a minute, okay? Don't go.
Okay.
Anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Right. There we go. It's cool. I'm just making sure the screen was right. It's right. There's nobody back there.
Okay.
Okay. Lawyer. There he is. There he is.
Oh, just in time.
Oh, yeah, let me bring him in. There we go.
Sorry,
Look
guys.
at
I was clicking the wrong link from an old.
Oh, that's okay, buddy. That's okay, buddy.
Yeah, you'd have been lonely over there. You might be lonely over here.
I clicked the link from the other show.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that won't help. How are you, sir? Good to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Doing good, thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I saw that Chille's. Hold on a second here.
Yeah, you got to turn down your.
I saw the. I decided to check out the Las Vegas District Court case, and I saw that there was an order entered yesterday dismissing the state of Nevada as a defendant. So I said, well, let me just kind of fish around on the docket and see what I can come up with. So that was the inspiration for the video. it's not going well for him. And then I found out that he posted a call today on his website, or maybe it was yesterday, and he said that he was going in on a hearing on May 23rd to get permission to exceed page limits, which means that he must have seen my video.
Oh, right. Yeah. The one you were talking about, the last video you did, where you said it was, the formatting was, it was way over the page limit, which used
31 pages or whatever.
Yeah. They enforce page limits. They don't allow you to violate those kind of rules. You can get a stipulation from opposing counsel, but when you double, see the fast track rules as I read them, and I'm not a Nevada lawyer, but as I read them, it was meant to be a streamlined appellate process, and it has to stay that way. And it's interesting that under the rules, had Chille represented himself like he demanded, he'd been unable to invoke the fast track rules.
Well, based on my personal observations, Chille seems to have difficulty comprehending rules. But again, that's my personal opinion after watching him operate. So, Liz is saying someone needs to show Mr. Darcy the public documents site for future reference to cases. I don't know if you are familiar with that website, Patrick. I've referenced it in a few of my videos. It's basically somebody who really wants to keep track of all of Chille's comings and goings, and God bless him, because it's a tremendous resource for doing so. But yeah. All right. What do you say, Ram? We fire up this, and
I say we fire it up and get it going. If you
right,
want,
so
you want to cut in at any time, Patrick, just say Ram.
Yeah, let me tell you about why the video cut off so short. I got annoyed.
Sure.
I got annoyed doing video editing. I'm not good at it, and I admit that. But of course, it speaks for itself. And I am better than I was a year ago. But I just said that I didn't want to deal with it anymore, so I just stopped, because the stuff I wanted to add at the end, which I thought was really cool, it made the video longer, and then I got some kind of flag from YouTube that it would need to go through checks, and then it would take longer, and I said, forget it. So I just cut it off and said, I'm just uploading it now, whatever. That's the way it's going to be.
It works for us.
I've got a Project Constitution has a question for Pat. If they deny him extra pages, then the deadline to refile is passed, so he doesn't get another bite at that apple, correct?
Well, again, I won't speak as a Nevada lawyer because I'm not licensed in Nevada. In California, if you make mistakes like this, you can fall on your sword and ask the appellate court to submit rebriefing in exceptional circumstances. You usually have to show good cause. You can get notices of default for failing to file within a certain deadline. And there's timings for the opening briefs and the responding briefs. So in this instance, the judge is going to be ticked off, I think, Levitt, that they filed first without asking for permission. Judges don't like that. If you come in and you ask for permission, it's easier for the court to say, okay, now what they're saying is we made a mistake. We now admit we made a mistake. The judge would look at Orem and say, aren't you aware of the fast track rules? Why would you do this? And then it puts him in an awkward situation, because maybe he has to disclose confidential communications with Chille, which he obviously won't be able to do. And then he just has to admit he made a mistake and apologize profusely. Then the people might try to leverage him a little bit, which they have the right to do, and say, hold on a second, Then the judge might say, okay, we're just going to move the briefing schedule back. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do this, but it's a mistake that's self-inflicted.
Right on. Thanks for the 10, Colin. All right, let's rock and roll. Going here. Why is it not starting for me? Because I was on the wrong one.
I wanted to take a look at the Chille de Castro District Court lawsuit. Been several months since I last looked at it. Right now, there's a pending motion to dismiss. So it's referred to as a Rule 12b6 motion under the rules of civil procedure, and that's for failure to state a claim. It's somewhat like a demur in state court. They have, however, decided to switch it up a little and do what's called a alternative Rule 56 motion for summary judgment, which means there's no need to have a trial. I'll give you an example of where I use that to defend Burger King franchisees and get an entire case thrown out in federal court, and it became a published opinion. In this instance, using Chille's videos. Can I explain that?
Please.
Okay, so I have a published decision. A published decision means it becomes binding law and it's citable authority. Unpublished means that you cannot cite to it, except in very rare circumstances that are just too rare to even go into. And then there's other opinions that become depublished. In my situation, I was representing some Burger King franchisees in San Diego in federal court because they have diversity jurisdiction, California and Nevada, and the parties are in different states, and the amount in controversy exceeded 75,000. They sued in federal court in San Diego. So I went on the attack and I filed Rule 12b6 motions, which says, as they pled this claim, say, for example, negligence or breach of contract, they don't have facts that, even if taken as true, because they'll be assumed true for the purpose of the motion, still doesn't, reach to a breach of contract situation. For example, let's say I promised to take you to lunch, and we agreed we'd go to lunch. We agreed I would pay for your lunch, et cetera, and I don't show up, and then you sue me, okay? And I say, look, Judge, even assuming everything they said is true, take it as true for the purpose of this motion, there's no claim against me, and then the case gets dismissed. Or what would happen is, since it's the first time, the judge would say, okay, I'll give you permission to plead again within 10, 20 days, put in the facts that would support breach of contract. Then I look at it again, like I did in this Burger King case, and again I attacked, and on Rule 12b6, I dismissed all but, I think, 2 claims. Then they thought they'd get great with me, and they would say, okay, they're filing a motion for summary judgment against me under Rule 56, meaning, hey, look, there's nothing to dispute here. They are tenants under this lease. They signed the lease. They breached the lease. They owe us, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We don't need a trial. This is a pure question of law, and there are no facts in dispute. When you do a motion for summary judgment, there cannot be material facts in dispute. Those facts in dispute are the basis for the trial. So they have to list why there is no disputed facts that could give them the judgment. So I turned around and hit them with an opposition to their Rule 56 motion, and I laid out how they can't even make their own case for breach of contract despite bringing a motion for summary judgment. The judge seized on that, and I think it's a Rule 56F motion, where the court now is ordering them to come to court, which she did, Judge Huff, and demand that they prove that they're not going to lose the case now based on my opposition. And then she issued a 20-page ruling, dismissed the case in my favor, and it became binding authority. So that was a pretty dramatic win, So
wow.
That's what this is. So there was the clients never showed up in court. It was just a battle of the pleadings, and that's what they're trying to do here. So go ahead.
Oh, is that related to like the anti-slap stuff where somebody has to kind of prove that they have a chance of winning before they go in?
The anti-slap is something I'm a big fan of, as you know. I love anti-slapping people. If they impinge on the First Amendment, it's coming right at them. The anti-slap is a very sophisticated form of litigation warfare. It's easier in terms of time and expense than a motion for summary judgment. It's more technical and a lot more difficult intellectually. But what you say to the court is there's a two-part test. The first part is I'm being sued based on First Amendment protected activity under 425.16e 1 through 4 of the Code of Civil Procedure. I lay out the basis for it. It's speech, it's petitioning activity, whatever. And then the burden shifts to them to prove that not only do they have the right to sue me, or that they can sue me, but now they've got to prove through minimal merit under the Oasis decision that there is at least minimal merit to support each element of a cause of action. And so in the second prong, they have to list out all the elements like I did and prove they have evidence to back it up. And they can't rely on their complaint. They got to bring in declarations. If they can't meet every single element, it's deemed to be a slap suit. I get the case thrown out, and I get my attorney's fees. And even more amazing, it has to be set on the calendar within 30 days of filing, and it stops, except for good cause, all discovery in the case. So it's an amazing way to basically slap someone across the face and just annihilate and destroy a lawsuit. He sued for defamation in his federal case. The federal rules have been changed to allow you to anti-slap, but they decided not to, maybe because they thought with the Rule 56 and the 12B6, it's enough. They don't need to do any more than that.
Any questions, class?
Was against him. And they're saying because his second amended complaint makes reference to police videos extensively. In California, we have the Sanwa case. There's a few others that say that if you attach exhibits to a complaint, it'll take precedence over the complaint's contrary allegations. Enough of me talking. Let's take a look. So here is to add additional evidence to their motion for summary judgment. And they're basically saying Chille has been found guilty, and therefore it would assist the court in now reviewing the summary judgment because this happened afterwards. I think the judge would grant this and say, sure, I'll look at this. Here was let me a interrupt you real failed quick motion to compel discussion.
Damn it.
Let me interrupt real quick there.
Yeah, I
Just go
hit
back.
the wrong there. Let's see, where were we? Purple there. We were right there.
Here was
Okay.
it's okay, you can stop there. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I when I clicked it off, I went almost to the end of the video. All right. Go ahead.
All right. This is a real serious pleading mistake, and it's a rookie error. If you write a complaint and you make reference to things that attachments could have been used on the complaint, it's the Sanwa case. In Sanwa, basically, if you make pleadings of allegations of X, Y, and Z, and you attach an exhibit to the complaint, then the exhibit will take precedence over whatever you wrote. And in this instance, since Chille's second amended complaint, which is his third pleading attempt, you start complaint first and second, third pleading attempt, judges get impatient now. That's a lot of pleading attempts. You're starting to run on borrowed time now to keep repleading and trying to fix your claims. By making reference to his YouTube videos, by making reference to the things he did, they can use that now as judicial admissions and party admissions against him and to disprove the allegations themselves. So now what he did by making reference to this external source is he's allowed them now to open the door and now use his videos against them, which is much better than trying to argue over pleadings and whether or not it has the elements. So go ahead. Is a failed motion to compel discovery responses. If someone is served with discovery, turn over documents, answer these questions, and they fail to do it, you can bring what's called a motion to compel and seek sanctions. Then defendants unequivocally demonstrate they responded to all of the RFPs, which would be requests for production, docket entry 73. Plaintiffs failed to acknowledge this fact. Instead, asserts he received no response from it except reference to defendant's initial disclosures. Those are called Rule 26 disclosures. Judge said, nope, in light of the objective evidence, plaintiff's argument failed, compelling lacks merit. Was go ahead and stop there. A decision. Okay, let me explain that. This is hilarious. They filed a motion, declarations, an account of what happened, everything. And they're saying, hey, we didn't get our discovery. We served a request for production called RFPs. There's requests for admissions or special interrogatories, all that stuff. You got to answer it. Chille's saying, we never got it. We sent it out. We never got it. The judge looked and said, what are you talking about? It's posted to the docket. They proved that they got it. So the judge said, no, I can't give you a motion to compel when they've already produced the records. And the judge is saying, how could you not know this? How could you go to all the steps of filing and producing a motion and not realize they sent it to you?
It's Chille. God.
Oh my goodness.
One more thing too. I forgot.
That's him in a nutshell.
One more thing I forgot to mention. He filed a motion to recuse the judge, make him step down, the 170.6 in state court. The judge said no. Then he filed a motion for reconsideration. That's called a 1008 motion here in California, but you can only bring it, and it's a contempt of court motion if you bring it without good cause, without change in law, change in facts, and facts not previously known to you through reasonable diligence. I just defeated a 1008 motion in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago. The judge was saying no. And what he wrote in his response to Chille as part of the court order was hilarious. He says, the plaintiff has not persuaded me to change my mind. Motion denied.
That's great.
You can see he was annoyed with the whole thing. Go ahead. Decision from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Here's the second amended complaint. Long-winded, 34-page complaint. And I don't want to, just for the sake of time, go over it, but he calls them counts. We'll really need to call them causes of action. And defamation, now that would have been a full-blown anti-slap motion right there. So he's got all these counts. And usually it's a rookie pleading error to over plead, because then you just invite a lot of attacks. Here's the $5 million. Here was a court order where one of the defendants was dismissed. It was the state of Nevada. No proofs of service were ever filed. Proof meaning that there was proof that they actually were served with the complaint, and therefore the court has jurisdiction over them. Here is something interesting. Michael Mee is appearing, and he was became counsel of record in this district court case. He's still counsel of record, even though the appeal is saying that he's ineffective assistance of counsel. They still have him on for the civil case. And what's ironic is they're saying that he was ineffective as a criminal defense attorney, which is his primary focus, it looks to me. And yet they have no problem with him being counsel of record for this. Very logically inconsistent to me, just like it was having him on the notice of appeal on the criminal case as well. This is the one to dismiss the case. They're saying, look, Judge, even if you take everything they say is true, you take all the evidence that's in this case as true, anything that they can properly plead as true, any evidence most favorable to them, because when you bring a motion for summary judgment, the evidence will be construed more favorably to the other side because you're looking to terminate the case. So assuming all of that, they're saying there still is not a claim here. The state of Nevada is now out of the case. We've got the police department under respondeat superior liability, the employing agency, and the cops. So this is very well written. And remember I was telling you when I was looking at the appellate brief that was submitted last time for Chille, how you need to have an introduction because you got a long brief and the judge needs to first know where you're heading, where are you taking him, what relief are you trying to get? At its core, this is a 1983 wrongful arrest and excessive force lawsuit. Brandon Bork, we know him, arrested plaintiff Jose de Castro for obstructing a lawful traffic stop when he approached the detainee of the traffic stop and suddenly refused to comply Bork's commands to move away from the detainee. Defendants now moved to dismiss all of the claims under Federal Rule Civil Procedure 12B6. That's a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim, or alternatively, summary judgment. Summary judgment is Rule 56, which says, hey, there's no case here. Here's where it gets dangerous. Because de Castro has incorporated these video references on his YouTube channel, the defendants are attaching copies of the officer's body-worn camera from the subject event into Castro's own recording. Now, here's where things get interesting because you can then use the videotape to contradict contrary allegations in the complaint.
Love the answer.
And to show there really is no proof for this. So again, like I warned, when you upload these videos, people will use them against you if it'll help their case. De Castro's YouTube video detailing the subject incident, which is comprised of his own video footage, clips, and de Castro's overlaid text commentary is attached. I looked at the one where he narrated his encounter with Officer Bork, and I said that looked very much like resisting arrest when he talked about having his underhooks under the guy. Now, you have to pay attention to how lawyers use words. De Castro was only a few feet away. No, that's not really true. He was about 10 feet away. Close proximity, vague enough to not really be wrong, but not accurate either. You can, and then here it is. You can film, but you need to stay away from the driver. Back up. A very good account of exactly what happened. You're going to detain me. Sir, he would have continued to stand right there, claimed he was 10 feet away. See, now they're getting to the accurate number. Constitutional law scholar, name would be on a lawsuit. They throw it in there. Mind your own effing business. Mind your own business. Member of the press. Get in your car, little doggy. He's a constitutional law scholar. Extended his arm and attempted to push Bork away from him. I didn't see that in the video. In fact, de Castro said on the stand that it was because of his many 30 years of martial arts training. It may have been a reflex. I don't really believe that, but whatever. But I don't think he pushed him away. I think he probably smacked his hand. Yep. Said he was struck in the groin. They're saying the body cam picture proves all of that is not true. Squeezing his arm uncomfortably, excessive force. They said, you know, we don't think that's true at all. De Castro requested, remember this in the squad car, he was trying to work it out with the cop not to arrest him. They would have dialogue and they would have a meeting of the minds. He's admitted to getting in trouble numerous times in the past for the same reasons. Wonder why the DA didn't bring that up. And his habitual behavior obstructing police officers and claiming it was justified because of his right to film. That's a summation of what he supposedly said. So never take that as true. That's just what a lawyer is saying. You have to be careful when you plead things in a complaint because you can bring in outside matters. And now They're saying, hey, we can have summary judgment on this now. We're not just looking at the pleading. So let's use it against them. These are all party admissions. These are judicial admissions. It cuts through the bullshit of whether or not it's a well-pled claim. We'll just go straight to summary judgment now. If this court determines that the body-worn camera and his own footage outside the SAC, outside the Second Amendment complaint, the court may, doesn't have to, convert this motion to a motion for summary judgment. He's already dismissed these claims, but for whatever reason, Chille put them back in again. That's a big mistake. Then he's going through here about what he says are the actual elements to be pled. I just want to show you something here. There's some good cases cited. Not every push or shove results in and is blatantly contradicted by the video evidence. C. Hughes versus Rodriguez. Inmates' allegations could be ignored as they were blatantly. So these are good cases. He says De Castro claims that defendants selectively enforce laws against people with white lips, brown skin. People express criticism towards law enforcement, those recording police interactions, and those publicizing information on police misconduct. What is the white lips about? Was that referring to him? They're saying these are just conclusory allegations. Just like I was showing in the appellate brief, a lot of conclusions, those don't persuade anybody, those don't count. It's the plaintiff who bears the burden of showing the rights were violated. An effective technique is to shift the burden to the other side. Even though you're the one bringing the summary judgment motion and you have the burden of persuasion, you push it back to them and say, hey, look, they haven't presented any evidence. That's our burden right there. And now they have to scramble and find a way to counter it. It's a very effective technique. Conclusory wish list of unconstitutional customs, policies, or practice. Use the word conclusory again for a reason. Failed to plead facts demonstrating either the following: express policy that would cause deprivation. You have to see whether or not they're framing this right.
Say what?
Yeah, let me stop you real quick there just to give you an idea of the procedure here. This is a very bright, brilliant tactic by very seasoned trial lawyers. When you bring a motion for summary judgment, you have the burden of persuasion, and any evidence will be read in more in favor of the other side since you're trying to take the case from them, and less in favor against you. So you have to really show that there is no triable issue that the jury needs to resolve or and a judge needs to look at. A perfect example, if we were thinking about, I don't know, let's just say personal injury world. I admit in a deposition, although I don't handle personal injury, but it's in personal injury law, they always think in terms of negligence. Everything is negligent. You negligently put your fork down on the plate. You negligently put salt on your eggs. You negligently spilled something. Everything to them is negligence. So negligence has 4 elements, and you have to prove all 4 elements. One of them is that, let's just say I admit I drove the car. I admit I drove the car through a red light. I admit I crashed the car. I admit I owned the car. There's enough there to go to summary judgment and then just have an issue of only damages, because I've admitted enough to prove that I'm liable, that I did it. Okay. In this instance, you could, if you wanted to, go through all of the laborious tasks of digging up all the discovery and taking all these depositions and spending a lot of money so that you'd have the stuff ready. Or you could do what these guys did, which is a very, very cool move. They just said, hey, look, they don't have proof of this. And this forces them to scramble in a very short time frame to come up with actual evidence, not allegations in their complaint. That could help them on the 12b6, but actual factual allegations, factual statements and evidence to refute what the other side is saying. So basically the move is they've done enough already, but now they're pushing the burden really back over onto Chille, and he's got very little time to put this all together. So go ahead. Right, or they're framing it in a way they know they can win. Agents and employees of a corporation cannot conspire with their principals. This is really what's called the agent immunity rule in California that basically says that corporations, it's the applied equipment case, that corporations can't act independently outside of the actions of their officers and agents, so it can't conspire with itself. However, independently, the employees could be held liable if they're acting for their own benefit. So this is just really the applied equipment's case. So he's trying to oppose it, keep it from getting granted. There's not a lot here in some instances, just basically, hey, we said, okay, we did it. Okay. Our complaint shows this has been pled. Some instances, the complaint only has a few sentences in support. But I want to show you this. Look at this, guys. Glick and Fordyce. Both of these cases discussed in the appellate brief. And Glick was the one that they relied heavily on in the appellate brief, citing it 18 times. And interesting that it's in Michael Mee's opposition. Of course, it has no persuasive power at all in a district court.
Right.
Oh, Somebody was saying, does Chille, somebody had asked earlier, Patrick, does Chille actually have to request to have Michael Me removed as the attorney of record, or is this some
No, they can just sign
reflex
papers.
action?
They can just sign papers and file it, and that's enough. But if he thinks that again, this is from a California perspective, maybe Nevada's a little different, but it is federal court, and I'm in federal court as well. And the rules are pretty similar because there are federal rules, but there are local rules that are a little bit different for each courthouse based on the judge. But usually what will happen is your lawyer may want to step down, but the client doesn't want the lawyer to step down. So now the lawyer needs to file a motion to withdraw and seek permission to step down. And then they go through a balancing test. Will the client be prejudiced by this? Is it in front of an important deadline? I've seen lawyers bail out right before a motion for summary judgment because they don't want to work on the case and they're not getting paid for it. But unless the client agrees, you need court permission. And that can put you in a real bind because it keeps you working on a case you want no part of. And you got to wait for approval. And so once you sign on the dotted line, remember what happened with Orem when he went into the hearing at the Las Vegas Municipal Court? And he said, I'm only making a special appearance. He did not want to be counsel of record because once he says that, he needs Chille's permission to get out or he needs the court's permission to get out.
Good point.
Man. Wow. Interesting.
Very interesting. There we go. Yeah. Law 101 once again.
Exactly.
What's the Irish goodbye? I saw that in a comment.
Yeah, Irish goodbye. I don't know. Punch in the face.
Is it being abrupt? I'm a bad editor. Okay, it's going to be kind of like a thing that sticks with me.
Well, I'm Irish. No. I'm Irish, and I think it may have something to do with slipping and falling, or.
Yeah. No, number one, I think the content is the main thing people are paying. It's not like they're absolutely unwatchable or anything. I mean, you got your points across and it's clear you're a pretty smart guy.
Well, I've learned more in the last month than I have in years, just because you break it down. So
on top of that, your video editing is definitely gotten better. So, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with leaving people wanting more, right?
That's right.
Always leave them wanting more. That's what my grandmother, the trapeze artist, used to tell me.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. It's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate your time. And speaking of your time, I know how valuable it is. So we don't expect you to. You're welcome to stay as long as you want, but don't feel obligated to.
Is he muted?
No, I'm right here.
Oh,
I'm right here.
Okay,
he's just listening.
Just want to make sure. If you have any last questions, and I can check out if you have any. Anybody wants me to answer, I'll give it a shot.
Well, here's one from Chris Kelling for $5, but I don't know that you can answer this one. I still want to know what color Chille thinks the sky is in his world. He is so logically impaired. Yeah, well.
Okay, that's going to be a difficult question because if he's under lockdown, the sky would be the color of his ceiling in his jail cell.
That's true. It's a trick me, fuck me question.
Yeah, Battleship Gray.
Interesting.
Yeah, the comments are really funny. I love the comments, you guys.
Oh, yeah, we have tremendous chat in here. Sorry, guys. I was trying to be in the chat as well as, but listening to Patrick, I kind of need all my brain power because, I mean, I'm following what you're saying and conceptually understand all of it. But yeah, I would definitely have to. That just flowed so naturally out of you. I'd have to go back and review what you said a few times to really.
PTW Media for $1.99 says Patrick will send you a bill.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's no problem.
I don't know though. I'm the only lawyer that pays people to talk to them.
That's true. That's why we enjoy having you on here. So that's fantastic.
All right, y'all. I'll let you go.
Oh, Patrick, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we are very.
You're always you have an open invitation. I'll drop you a link every time we go. If you show, you show. If you don't, you don't. How's that?
That's fine, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
sir.
Patrick.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great night.
You too.
Good night.
Well, that's always a delight, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just so informative. Just so much.
Yes, I feel
that I
very
learn from him. Let's see what Colin's got to say here. For $5, don't pee in the pooper, Chille. Yeah, don't pee in the pooper.
Yeah. By the way, that's what your constitutional law scholar looks like, right? You know, and that's the other thing with the label. I'm still wondering if that isn't going to cause him problems with regards to everything he's got going on now, because
everything he does or says causes him problems.
This is true. I just always, that in the back of my mind just seems so problematic that it can't help but. I mean, by the way, there are constitutional law scholar conferences at different universities every year. There's actually, I mean, that's what, if you go to, I don't know if it was Georgetown or Harvard or one of those, one of the Ivy League schools, they actually have people that they label as constitutional law scholars on staff. And these are people with all sorts of juris degrees, all sorts of other qualifications, like really super impressive.
Yeah, they didn't earn it on TikTok.
Yeah, somebody didn't give it that name on a podcast. So it would serve him right if, because he makes such a big deal out of it in every one of his journeys out. It's as if it's some sort of magic cloak that protects him or elevates him to.
That's the way he treats it.
Above. Yeah, above regular people, and that's dangerous. I mean, that gets near the unauthorized practice of law area. If you're conferring a level of expert, a title on yourself, and with that title, authority, then it's pretty dicey.
All right. What do you guys think about Mr. Ehline here? Do you concur with the inference I make on this thumbnail?
Oh, this guy again.
The new delete Lawz. His subs are up like 30%. He's just stepped in and pretty much taken over. And Colin's in here. I'd like to know his thoughts on it.
You tricked me. You said you weren't going to bring this guy up.
No, I said I wasn't going to bring him up with Patrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
I'm trying to not even give him much airtime, but yeah, there's no denying he's in the middle of the Chille story now, isn't he? And yeah, I think that's a big thing. People are speculating on what his motivations might be for doing so.
No, and I'm not going to play it because I know you're making a video. So,
oh, that's okay. I don't care about that. I'm literally just trying to give him as little mention as possible.
Billy Yank for $5. I wish the beautiful prosecutor had grilled Chille on being a constitutional law scholar. She could have made him look really stupid. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I wondered about that too. I mean, because there's all sorts of things that they could have gone after him for, but not unrelated to this.
Why is it I think they still have opportunities to
but there were things during the trial that they could have brought up too, obviously, but it was exactly what Patrick was talking about earlier in the in Chille's
Art.
Lawsuit.
I did notice that, Art. I brought that up last week that I went over there and noticed he cleaned his channel up a lot. He now
wait,
Ehline Ehline made a comment the other night that he's been talking to Brian behind the scenes and they're working on something. But, you know, you're right. Brian kind of cleaned his channel up there a little bit after he jumped on the bandwagon early. Yeah.
Well, by trying to go in after Chille on too many things, it's like the concept that Patrick was discussing in Chille's lawsuit earlier. Like, you don't want to spread it too thin, you know what I mean? Just keep it focused, because otherwise you can overdress it.
Yeah, Scott, you're right. Carpetbagger.
So
yeah, Ehline he doesn't I think it's pointed out in the video. I went to California and Texas both. I found one case in California, and Dick Mag pointed out to me that he didn't file that, but he ended up with his name on that appeal. It was that school board case in 2008. But I can find none, zero, zilch, no appellate cases in California or Texas that Michael Ehline has.
Merb did a video on. Merb is not really a fan of Michael Ehline. I think that's pretty safe to say. But he mentioned in his video that his name was attached to. I think he said in the Texas ones, his name was attached to a couple things somehow, appeal wise. But in his opinion, it really didn't mean shit anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Who can say what appellate experience he's
Project Constitution for $10 replying to what I brought up a minute ago. Ehline thinks is just using Chille for his own benefit. However, the benefits won't be worth the fallout from, one, his reputation for associating with Chille, and two, when Chille turns on him. Yep. Well, I wanted your take on it. Yeah, I agree. I concur. We all know Chille. We know how he treats people when he's done with them.
Oh, you mean tosses them to the side?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Sorry, buddy. I could have cleaned that up for you. I just wasn't reading it in front of it enough.
Yeah, I don't. One can only speculate on his motivations.
So another issue with this Yahoo, this Michael Ehline,
he doesn't understand the concept of parody or satire.
Yeah, exactly.
He was doing a parody of a Marine.
Doing a parody of a Marine. And I have that right here. That's so funny. I don't have to play it. If you don't want, I won't do it. If you don't
want. I can. That's what I'm going over in my upcoming video.
Right. No, I got you. And I've already done it on video anyway. So there's no reason, or I can wait until you're gone.
Yeah. Whatever. In the end, who really gives a shit? You know what I mean? But yeah,
it's content.
I guess so.
Yeah, and he is amusing in a certain sense. I mean, it's hilarious just how ignorant. Well, no, I guess I shouldn't say that. In my opinion, it's amazing. It's just how he really doesn't look at anything. He doesn't look into anything. Everything's on the surface. He's almost like Chille. Almost has a bit of a time with his reacting to things and not thinking them through. God. And where is all this self-glorification coming from? I keep trying to find all this glam that he speaks of. And like you said, it's not so much what he did in the military, but it's what he projects. He makes it look like, he was a lifer.
Yeah, I don't see where the parody and or satire come in, because what is he trying? I mean, if satire, what is he trying to say? You know, and if it's a parody of what? A boot marine? So, I mean, he's doing a parody of himself. I don't, you do see what I'm saying?
Thank you, Stone Bet.
So I just don't think he understands the concept of either one. Or he has I mean, we already know he has a pretty lousy sense of humor in my, you know, speaking as somebody
it's weak,
who's pretty serious about comedy. So who knows? Maybe in his mind it is. I'd love to hear the rationale, because I just do not see it. So, and you know, again, and would the parody regs, which by the way, I'm not even sure. I think he's referring to a Supreme Court decision to where you can't prosecute an actor for stolen valor for wearing a costume during a production or something like that. So which one outweighs it? Does the official regs that say what I said they say about what former military members are, where and when they are not supposed to wear their uniforms? Or is it there's an idea for a show for you, Michael. Free ideas, buddy. Yeah, go around and ask, authorities on the subject, what they think about it. It's just but again, in the end, I'm not really interested in litigating it with the guy, or going back and forth on it. You know what I mean? Like I said, in the end, who gives a shit? If you want to do that, that's your business.
Well, I had
planned to me, it looks dorky as shit, and I think a lot of, vets kind of have issue with it just because it's because it's not clear what you're trying to do, man. It's just unclear. Yeah. Nobody, he said something about he couldn't be mistaken for an actual active enlisted person. Well, yeah, but that doesn't, what is that really? Nobody's going to mistake. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what he's driving at with that comment. And also, like I said, I really don't give a shit. So there's that.
There's that. All right. Well, it was part of my program tonight to play this video, so I'm going to play it. It's my video, and I'm going to go through it really quick, but I'm going to cut out all my narration and just go through the content.
Okay.
Let the chat respond as they will, and I'd like to get the chat's take on a little bit of this, because believe it or not, the comments were fantastic on this video. I got a lot of good comments on this.
All right, I will be ducking out for just a minute while you get that going, and I'll be back as soon as possible.
Okay, buddy.
I think he really is contrived for what he's done.
I disagree. Have you watched the videos that have been posted since he's been incarcerated?
I have. I'm in a murder trial. So I had a chance.
So he's going to apologize to me in a minute, but that's not what he's saying on what he's publishing online in his phone calls from the jail. That's not what he's saying at all. And are you aware that he has a trial pending in Las Vegas Municipal Court? He has a case pending in Good Springs Justice Court, where he continues to manufacture situations where he'll get arrested.
Your Honor, I recognize that's what he was sort of doing for a living, and this is, he's now being incarcerated.
Right.
And
so what he's saying in the couple of weeks since he's been incarcerated, when he calls from the jail and publishes them on his website, is not what he's about to say to me. Okay? So he's going to apologize to me now, but that's not what he's doing publicly, okay?
Yeah, sure. I hear that. I won't have him speak at this time, but I would still ask you to consider that there may be legitimate issues. I think there are for Judge Levitt to consider, and I think these are sort of issues of first impression. That was the other thing I saw, is that in the state of Nevada, I can't find any case law that specifically talks about this filming of police officers. What I would say to the court is I recognize that it's obnoxious behavior. That's what it appears to be. Whether it's protected is another thing that I think higher courts need to look at. But I can see if the court has already made up the court's mind.
Well, I want to be clear. I did not have a problem with him filming, and I said that when I sentenced him. That was not the issue. It was the safety issues that he created with his behavior. And I also did not sentence him because of his ridiculous behavior in court. That wasn't why I sentenced him to jail. I sentenced him because I found him guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and I thought that was the appropriate sentence. I could have given him 180 days on each count and ran it consecutive for a year in jail, but I didn't. And his behavior was unacceptable in court, but that's not what I sentenced him for. I did not sentence him for his behavior in court. I sentenced him for his behavior for the 2 charges that he faced.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so your motion is denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyways, my name is California and Texas Attorney Michael Ehline. My background is in appellate law. I got my start as a judicial extern at the California Court of Appeal. And prior to that, I worked as a paralegal and law clerk doing appeals. So I have a little bit of experience at this.
Okay. So I did go to California and I did look at the California appellate, and I looked in several different districts, and like I said, I only found his name on one document, and it wasn't his filing. It was something on the school board, which I have a copy of it, but I'm just going to jump here and get away from my narrative.
You are terrorizing the people here. Nobody wants you here. Just leave. Listen, I'm a constitutional law scholar, brother. I'm not trying to incite a riot.
Basically, from my perspective, he's created a whole industry of bottom feeders who are basically living off of him in order to pay their bills if their channel is monetized. I have my own firm and I do this voluntarily. So just a little disclaimer. I don't get any money for doing this. This is voluntary work. It's part of what I do because I believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And I believe that if you represent unpopular people, you should get an award for that.
Bottom beaters, huh? Yeah. And I agree. You should get an award for that. But you talk about blowing your own horn. Oh my God. Yeah, Sean. Yeah,
well, I mean, free advertising is valuable.
Oh, you're there. Okay.
Yeah, just got back.
Yeah, it's just my video, dude. I'm not gonna stop. I'll try to jump through anything that might be applicable to your video. So
I don't care. It's your show.
Yeah, this guy is so full of himself. Oh, I like that. Yeah. The fact that Chille wears that stolen coat all the time. Yeah, here is let's see, where am I?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, he's a personal injury attorney, right? So I do expect that you'll be representing Chille in his claim in the negligent driving thing.
Yep, you brought that up several times. He shouldn't he?
Absolutely.
Yes, you've made it clear, beating around the bush. It's oh, there he is, the almighty dickbag. That coat belonged to Tina Slay. That was Tina Slay's coat. He stole it from her. He took it from her house and wore it when he left, and wore it around for damn near a year, just rubbing her nose in it. Okay, now on this case in 2002, on the GHB case, I had my suspicions about this because there's no disposition court filings or not even an arraignment. But the charges, he was arrested and the charges were filed. Now, I had a sneaking suspicion because I understand how CIs work. So more than likely what happened here is there was a rollover on the street. Rolling over is going for the next person up. He gave information to law enforcement to strengthen and better their case to go after someone who is a little bit bigger in the
Bigger
dealings than he was. And it's not uncommon, but usually when it comes to a stop and you can find no further information, the only people that know are the DA, the investigators, and possibly a judge. Chances are it never even gets to the bench. So prosecutors, DAs, and investigators are the only ones that would know. And that's pretty much what looks like happened here. He rolled over. They went after somebody else.
Well,
and we've shown it. There's no reason.
Point of interest on that. Although he would still have a lot of other negative things to explain away on a bar ethics test, saying if by some miracle Chille was ever able to go through the lawyer office LOI, the lawyer office internship thing, and pass the baby bar, and then pass the bar, he still has to pass the bar ethics test. So anything, it has to, some things they definitely look at. Some of the other things he did, I don't know. But the felony would actually, I don't know if that would actually, even though it's on his record and it's guilty, but it's like not, it doesn't count in a sense. You know what I mean? As a,
Are you talking about that case there? The 2002? No,
yeah.
It wouldn't count.
He was found guilty, but he just wasn't convicted.
That's right.
So that might not even show up.
Chances are it won't.
Yeah, it actually specifies that it's the type of the charge is something that can be looked at for some things, but not for licenses.
There won't be, there probably won't be any other paperwork on that at all. If it's what I think it is, and that's what I think it is, there won't be any, there won't, that's it. There won't be any more information on it, because that's the way those work. I've seen it many, many times. I, did a little bit of undercover stuff when I was in there, and I know how you walk the ladder, and that stuff would just disappear.
Yeah, but
that's my guess. I'm guessing that's what happened there, but it sure looks like it to me. Project Constitution, $5. The reason Ehline comes in and spams everyone's comments is trying so hard to be relevant.
Yeah.
I think
let's
you're
not
right.
forget, I never once made a comment over on his thing. He started coming over and being a wise guy over in my comments.
That's right.
So I don't know what again, I can only speculate as to his motivations. I have thoughts on it. But the other thing, Michael, if you're out there, why is it, if you and Chille, you're such First Amendment guys, why is it you can come over here, say anything you please, go on my channel, make all the comments you want, but I'm blocked on Delete Lawz? Why do you think that is, Mr. Freedom of Speech?
Freedom of speech for me, not for thee.
It's puzzling to me.
Yeah. He's going to take it all out. I'm bringing it out in bits and pieces. You can stop and read it. It's all been documented. But don't sit there and point fingers when you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know who you're talking at. I've looked into you. You're a personal injury lawyer. You're an ambulance chaser, per se, is what they like to call them. And you've done well for yourself. But don't start calling other people bottom dwellers and stuff because you choose to represent someone, or I shouldn't say represent, to assist someone, help them with their channel. Look, the only reason Chille's even been on my radar since the very first video I did, he was the reason I started doing this, is because I knew that there were lies. I mean, you can, you know what? Almost the same parallel as the Michael Kaiser thing in the Stolen Valor, almost same parallel. If he tells enough people a lie and can keep the truth from exposing him, then he's got some support. That's all. That's all it is with Chille. The fact of the matter is, more and more people, he gets exposed. That's all we do is expose. And if you want to choose to jump on his bandwagon, then you're going to have to take some shots. And if you're going to fire back, make sure you do your homework.
Yeah. That exactly.
Yeah, do your homework, Mr. Ehline. Do your homework. Because you're not accurate at all. We are. I've got the receipts. I'm posting them right there. Chille is what he is. He hasn't changed one iota. he's a grifter, It's just insane that you think that we're deserving of taking lashings from you. And you came to our comment sections and started this. I would have never come to Michael Ehline's YouTube page or web page, and I've been to both. And actually, I spent a whole night in your web page, and I discovered a magazine called Leathernecks, and I spent a couple hours reading a real interesting article in there. I actually was kind of impressed with some things. I was impressed with your organization to assist veterans, the VA, with Agent Orange, soldiers exposed to Agent Orange. And I'm sure that's probably personal for you a little bit since your father was in Vietnam. I get it. That's impressive. But what's not impressive is standing in for a fool like Chille DeCastro and just make crap up to make him look good. You can't polish a turd, man. It's still a turd. Polish it all you want. It's still a turd. And that's what you have. You've got a well-groomed, polished turd, a guy that and he says, I won't stop. No, he can't stop because he has to get in. He has to get through to people that aren't willing to look at him as a whole and look at his past to keep support going. Has to. He's got to stay ahead of it because they drop. Some people, I don't care. Well, you care if you start reading some of this stuff. You read some of these protective orders and stuff, and just what this guy, what he'll go, the lengths he'll go to. Look, he's got no impulse control. You see it over and over and over again. And the protective orders, when you read what he does, it's indicative of no impulse control.
Yeah.
We know from talking to previous. Do what?
I said that relates to something I started reading about today, because I remember a few weeks back I said I thought that one of the keys to Chille, either as a psychological component or just a theme of what runs through his content, is dominance. It's like an important factor in what Chille does. And he actually released a short today that's something like, watch me dominate this pig, and it reminded me of it. And so I was reading about the dominance behavioral system. And it's pretty interesting. I was thinking on Thursday I might have to dive into this, and how what I've been reading applies to our little
I think you should.
jailbird friend. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. But I wasn't wrong about that
Oh, you hit it on the head.
factor. Well, I mean, I'm not giving myself a whole lot of credit because it's just like
What?
simple observation of Chille will tell you that it's
Exactly.
you know, you're not my daddy. You can't tell me what to do. And you know, and he's said you're just to other people. You just want to dominate another. You know.
Right.
So
Get back in the car, you little doggy.
Yeah, it wasn't like a hard puzzle to put together or anything. I'm not. But I find it fascinating.
Yeah, it's a grift. That's all it is, big grift.
And all of you should know that you don't need a college degree or to go to some government approved school to be a journalist or to be a reporter. So that being said, I want to get into this with you a little bit. First, I want to thank everyone for showing up again. We've got, so Greg B, I appreciate you showing up, Greg B. And I appreciate
wait for it.
All of the stuff that people are saying. Apparently, they've heard a lot of stuff from people who don't like Chille, and they're using that as their basis to say that his appellate brief is no good or whatever. And I understand that. But I also want you to understand that opinions are like assholes and everyone's got one. And what really matters is the judge or panel of judges that hears the case. And that's just how it works. If you got a bad judge or what people consider to be a bad judge and you support the Constitution, you're going to lose.
You a lawyer? I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't.
You just know your shit.
I know my stuff. That's why there's 500 people here.
He know his shit, y'all.
Oh, I know my stuff.
Or the laws need to catch up with evolution.
That guy was just humoring. Anybody else think that guy was just fucking humoring Chille?
You think?
That's how it looked to me. Clowning him.
If you watch the whole video, that was the night that somebody was popping off a pellet gun on him.
Oh right, yeah.
That had happened just before that when he met up with that guy. They'd just gone through the whole ordeal. Where's that coming from? Who's doing that? That is a pellet gun.
It's too bad tarring and feathering isn't a thing anymore, right? Although
Yeah.
Chille would probably look like a pillow by this point.
I don't know who that guy is, but if he happens to see himself, I've made him a star because I put him in about 10 videos. I would love for him to contact me.
Oh yeah, he was totally clowning on Chille.
No way. You're not going to get away with that. I know who you're implying that Dick Bag has said that he hates Chille. Never have I heard that out of that man's mouth. Ever. Not once. We've discussed it. We hope that Chille gets help. That maybe while he's incarcerated, he might get the psychiatric help that we think he needs. We never have said that we hate that man. Never said that about you. Never said that. I don't believe I've ever heard it come out of his mouth. That's a pretty definitive, harsh word, hate. So that's not fair at all, Mr. Ehline. Not fair at all. See what I mean about just sit out there and see if it sticks? People that claim that they're something that they're not, they pursue things they shouldn't be able to pursue because they're not the good people they claim to be, like Chille. Come on, how many times you heard the man say he's got a clean record? Never. That's so much BS. It's just flat out lie. Period.
Hey, my other favorite comment. Hang on, Reefer Madman. More or less vile than wishing bone cancer on children. Because Chille did that.
Yes, he did.
Just point of fact. But thanks for participating.
Absolutely.
Left on the video about Chille's restraining orders that I did is this one. You heard it, folks. Lies. Never mind the video contains documents entered into a record in a court of law regarding Chille's harassment, stalking, and assault of his ex-girlfriend. Lies. Does that argument work in court?
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Now, you might be asking yourself what kind of lawyer would go around making comments like this on behalf of Chille. Probably the same kind that would write him a letter of support for his appeal. That's right, this bonehead, excuse me, jarhead, actually wrote a letter full of inadmissible hearsay and entered it as part of Chille's bail hearing, wherein he champions Chille and claims he's grooming. A very poor choice of words, in my opinion. I mean, you didn't see anything wrong with that verbiage? Well, okay. Anyway, he's preparing Chille to be a itty-bitty little junior lawyer man by sponsoring him for the LOS program. Isn't that cute? Surrogate daddy Mike is going to teach little Jose to ride a bike. Adorable. Satire.
Yes, satire. There's real satire, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have not had an opportunity to watch that video, it's Dickbag Patrol, the last video he did, and it is masterful as usual. As you saw in how clean the editing was on the Joker. That's good work, buddy. Good work. Good voiceover.
Appreciate that.
Very clean.
Sometimes things just work out.
Yeah, sometimes they do. Just like that Chris Ryder, you know, look, these documents don't make themselves up. There is an imaginary court somewhere that comes up with a court docket with a court case. And I brought that up because there were some comments after I released the video that, you know, about conspiracy and all that the courts, that's bullshit. You don't get that many officers of a court to conspire to make up a case, period. It just isn't going to happen with signatures and, and details. You go, oh no, that wasn't me. Who the hell was it then? Now, you have chosen to step in here. Now, whatever your motive is, I don't know. And you may be sincere about, you know, you feel that strongly on. I'll have to fast forward this. I want to get back to him. Let's see. Oh, our buddy once again. I mean, that's what, Michael?
Wow, you a lawyer?
I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't.
You just know your shit.
I know my stuff. That's why there's 500 people here.
He know his shit, y'all.
Oh, I know my stuff.
Yeah, Gloria. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, by the way. I don't really have an axe to grind with anybody. It's just interesting how you see these non-attorneys, they'll cite a big section of law and say that you're in violation.
You've already released you've already released her. This is 2015 Rodriguez versus United States. I'll walk right in front of your car. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Ehline. That's what Chille does. Rodriguez versus the U.S. has nothing to do with releasing a traffic stop early. It has to do with holding a traffic stop until a drug sniffing dog shows up to walk around the car. That's what that case is predicated on. So, yeah, you're right. You're right, Mr. Ehline. There's people out there that spread stuff. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But that's your boy.
I got another example for you, too. When Chille threatened to sue me, he was going to use over AI Chille. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
He's threatening me with the Midler versus Ford Motor Company.
Yeah, that's right.
It's completely. I mean, I made a video of it showing how wrong he was about all that. And as a matter of fact, I gave him another almost identical case with Tom Waits and Frito-Lay, just to show him how confident I was that he's off the beam. So, yeah, he's not good at interpreting case law. I don't know. I mean, if you can point to me an example of him correctly interpreting it somewhere, perhaps I haven't seen.
Yeah, he may have got lucky.
Yeah.
That's your boy that you are supporting. I think that's what you're doing. Or
they'll
grifting.
cite a case to say that this stands for the proposition that supports their side. But then when you read their cases, it's complete nonsense. For example, I saw a video today by someone who hates Chille saying that I violated the UCMJ because in one of my videos, I created a parody of myself wearing my camis from the Marines.
There's that hate statement again. That's awfully bold of him to say that. And it really ticks me off. It does piss me off. That's what really got me fired up about doing this whole thing. Is the fact that
And
he
also
said
I didn't point that out to get back at Chille. I just saw that it seems kind of weird to me, and when I looked into it, I found the regs. They said what they say. Now you're saying, oh, it's a parody and you're protected under law. All right, well, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Yeah, that night you and I were talking, and when we were looking at that and found that, and I sent that book to you, or I sent the link to you, and you said there's like 32 pages. Isn't that right? Wasn't there like 30 pages of rules and regs and so on and so forth?
Shit, no, man. There's way more than that, I'm pretty sure. But it has everything in it, like how
everything,
the direction of where your decorations go, what direction they face, like sideburns, for women, earrings, like anything, kerchiefs, fucking swords, the whole 9 yards. Anything you possibly need to know about your uniform is in there. So, I mean, look, like I said, if you believe that your rights as an actor or whatever, if you think that you're performing a parody, and like I said, I really don't. It's not like I'm gonna fucking report you or anything, or like I mean, if you want to look like a dork, that's your business.
Who cares? Right? Who cares?
Yeah, I got bigger problems.
Project Constitution. Thanks for $2, buddy. Chille has a horrible understanding of case law. Yes, we see that all the time. There's hate for Chille. What? Sorry.
I'm not. No, I was just gonna say I'm just. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also not here to try and fucking destroy anybody's life, or you know what I mean.
No.
Take somebody down. I'm just pointing out what I see.
That's right. And Ehline's the one that said it at the beginning of this video. We all have an asshole. We all have an opinion.
He was 100% right about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. This is our opinion. Your opinion, my opinion, whatever.
Looks like we still got 60 people watching. That's
all right. Hey, can you guys hear me? EGA.
Here's parody.
Whoa. All right. I'm super happy. But the good news is I got NorCal with me, and that was the main thing.
That's great news.
Yeah, that's terrific news.
So I just want to tell you guys, I'm underarmed, so I'm technically allowed to be in uniform. Now, the other guys who are going to say that you're in violation of the UCMJ because you're no longer active duty and you're wearing your uniform.
Yeah. By the way, in that video, when he said he's under arms, he had taken and held a Colt 45 up to the camera close. And the reason I cut that out is I got in trouble for that once with YouTube some time back. So I took it out.
Yeah.
And I also pointed that out to YouTube along with the timestamp in my video where I had to take it out because it was against their terms. So I just thought I'd point that out. I did take that out of there.
And that's what he's talking about there. Why he has his cover or his hat, cover on.
Yeah. Because he's under
while he's indoors, because generally you're not supposed to wear your cover indoors. And I don't know if the Navy has any exemptions, or if there's exemptions for like change of command ceremonies and shit like that, where it's in a hangar. I don't know. I can't remember if like the hangars are considered that. You know what I mean? There's weird little things like that. But what he's saying is if you're armed with a sidearm of some kind, then I guess you're allowed to wear your hat indoors, according to Marine regs. But again, according to Marine regs, you're really not supposed to.
Commercial.
Yeah, I mean, they really don't want you. The gist of it is they don't want the Marines misrepresented. You know what I mean? That's kind of the bottom line with all of it. It's like,
yeah, plain as day. I remember DP and I were talking about this, and I went and located this Marine Corps uniform regulation book, and I forwarded it to him, and he went through it, and he has he put in his video what he believes is applicable to Michael Ehline.
I mean, if only there was some sort of rule book we could look into. Oh, looky here, kids. It's a big rule book. Well, let's just take a look at the rules, shall we? DoD directives pertaining to uniforms. Members of the armed forces, including retired members and members of reserve components. The wearing of the uniform is prohibited under any of the following circumstances. Number one, basically at any extremist political meetings that could be considered a terroristic threat. And number two seems very relevant during or in connection with the furtherance of political activities, private employment, or commercial interests, when an inference of official sponsorship for the activity or interest could be drawn. Well, you've called Chille a political prisoner, so that automatically makes it a political activity. And since you're raising money for Chille and promoting your own law firm, seems to me that would make it commercial. Number three prohibits you from doing any interviews, pickets, parades, demonstrations. In other words, you're not authorized to do any PR for the military. Number four, when wearing the uniform would tend to bring discredit upon the armed forces. Well, I'll leave that to your individual opinions. And number five, when specifically prohibited by regulations of the department concerned. Now, B, and this is specifically applicable to Michael. Former members who served honorably during a declared or undeclared war, well, that's Michael, and whose most recent service was terminated under honorable conditions, again, applies to Michael, may wear the uniform in the highest grade held only upon the following occasions and in the course of travel incident thereto, meaning heading there and back. 1. Military funerals, memorial services, weddings, and inaugurals. And that's a little unclear. It's definitely military funerals, but is that also military memorial services, military weddings, and military inaugurals, or not? But either way, I do not believe live streaming falls under any of those. And number 2, parades on national or state holidays or other ceremonies that are sanctioned by the U.S. military. And we finish with a quote. Wearing of the uniform or any... Somebody pointed out or made a comment that portion that I questioned was written deliberately vaguely. Because if somebody wanted to do some kind of family wedding and somebody of that wanted to wear their uniform, I don't think anybody's really going to care too much about that. You know what I mean? I think most people have the sense to know when and where not to wear their uniforms. You know what I'm saying? But so don't know if that's true or not, but somebody commented that they believe that to be the case. So just wanted to point that out. Part thereof at any other time or for any other purpose is prohibited. Was that I was only in for a very short time. It's 30 years on now, and though I'm certainly proud of my time in, I don't still wear my little Gilligan hat around and about. Now, to be fair, that hat sucked, and he'd have to put a gun to my head to get me to wear bell-bottoms again. Now, all that said, I want to be clear, I'm not impugning his achievement in passing basic training, nor doubting his willingness to serve, nor am I accusing him of stolen valor. From all appearances, the guy really wanted to serve, did his best, it just didn't work out. Shit happens. But let's face it, Michael, you were in, a few months? The way you present yourself, anyone who didn't know any better might think you're a lifer, in my opinion. Michael left a comment saying that he was in for like a year, but I'm assuming he was not on any kind of duty during that period. He's just convalescing. If I'm wrong about that, well, let me know. But essentially what happened was he made it through basic, and then he started to go through secondary school, which is School of Infantry, which makes Marines combat ready. And if you don't make it through SOI, you could still, you're still a Marine. You just won't have a combat related job, obviously. So at some point during that training, which is what, a couple months long, I think. I actually don't know for sure, but I mean, I can't imagine it would be more than a couple months. Let me know if I'm wrong, somebody. But he got injured and somebody required surgery. So, and then it says even in his bio that he had to, that this happened, and then he was sent home awaiting orders, and then eventually released. So yeah, he may have been in a year. Like, I mean, again,
9 months of it was waiting on paperwork.
Yeah. So I mean, again, man, I'm definitely not trying to say. I mean, congratulations, man. You, yeah, and technically you are a Marine, man. That's great. That's awesome, man. I'm not trying to impugn him for that, but I'm just saying, I don't know. To me, image-wise, I mean, it's like I said, it just doesn't, something about it just doesn't quite sit right.
Project Constitution for $5. Thank you, sir. I suspect Ehline falls short in a lot of other things in life too. LOL.
Oh, no, that's not very nice. We're toxic. It's a little Reeve gauche, man. Know what I mean? But hey, I'm just a Navy guy. Let's ask a Marine what they think.
You're not allowed to wear your camis unless you're under arms.
Yeah, I love it.
We're not allowed to be in uniform indoors, like right on deck with an overhead, unless we're armed, right, guys? Right, all you Marines, sound off if that's the case. All right.
Man, sound off these nuts. God damn, boot Marines are the worst. I love being a Marine, man. It's an honor for. I'm a combat Marine. I went to combat as a recon dude, a Marine recon. Like that was like the shit. I love forever. And I get Marines can be a little bit, whatever. We're a little bit Marine-y about some shit. Boot Marines are literally the worst, though.
Ooh, well, safe to say I don't think he's a fan. But hey, one guy's opinion, right?
And it says right in that code section that the only way that section applies is if you confusingly convince someone you're an active duty service member. And of course, everybody knows that I'm not active duty. I've been out for years. So I just want you guys to understand, don't believe anything these guys say because they don't know the law. They don't know what they're talking about. At least Chille's made a good faith effort to try and learn the law and to try and get the legal training that he needs. And so because of that,
he know his shit, y'all.
Oh, I know my stuff.
Anyway, on to Michael's final amazing comment we're going to highlight here. The piece de resistance, where he comes at me, gloves off, swinging hard. Funny stuff, sir. Now, do I look like Dirty Harry in real life? No. Do I look like an elf? No. Does Michael Ehline look like an elf? In my opinion, put a silly little hat on him, he looks like he should be baking cookies in a tree. I said as much in my reply to him, but nothing clever to say, I guess.
What do you think? Impressive. Very nice.
Oh well, like I said before, I got nothing against elves. They're hardworking, industrious, and full of good cheer.
There you go. All right. Good stuff. I pinned Dick Bag's video up there in the chat. If you have not seen it, go watch it. It's art. It's true Dick Bag Patrol editing, and it's wonderfully done.
Thanks, Yvonne. That made, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, brutal. But I mean, yeah, you know, if I'm wrong about any of it, like I said, whatever. As far as this uniform shit, I mean, yeah, you know, that's a discussion to your constitutional right to parody, quote unquote, parody.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Marine, does that trump the the United States Marine Corps uniform regulations? I think that would be a very interesting discussion. Or, you know, you could just stop wearing the outfit. But you do you, buddy.
Yeah, it's interesting as to what his motive is over there. It's going to be interesting to watch. See what evolves. He certainly is looks like grifting to me.
Yeah, I again, I'm not going to speculate on his motives as far as helping Chille. I don't know. It's way more effort than I care to, you know. I got enough trouble with what's actually happening.
What an interesting weekend, though, huh? It was quite the weekend.
As far as
no, just all the bizarre stuff going on. You know, the whole thing.
Man,
with Kaiser, and you know, that was,
yeah, that fucking guy. Yeah, I got he went into somebody, because just for the record, he won't reply to my emails and I'm blocked in his chat. So if I want to try and get a message to him, I have to pay close attention to when he might be in somebody else's chat, and then I go in there and
right, me.
and then I got kicked out immediately after I asked him the question. I asked him why he's claiming that all these people are growing their channels on his account, on account of how awesome he is.
Right.
But he's still using my
intro,
which is the only little bit of production value that fucking idiot has over there. And so literally I've been helping him, and he's been writing on me, my talent. And then his reply, he did reply before I got booted out. And then he ran away, by the way, was, well, in my understanding, it was a gift. Why don't you go have Chille get bent over by Chille again? I was just like, all right, what? I mean, he's got nothing. And he keeps proving it. And
$2 Diamond Draco. We had to live through being called Gomer Pyle.
Yeah. He's too much of a chicken shit to fucking even stick around anywhere where I can ask him questions. Yeah, I'm making a short response to that shit too. That is just like, I just shit talk, man. I can only listen to so much of it.
That's a tough channel to watch.
Yeah, if it weren't for Stone Vet, I wouldn't. You know, I mean, I just can't keep up on the day-to-day thing. Like I said, in the end, he's gonna end up where he needs to be. But in the meantime, you want to fucking run your mouth about me, I'm gonna have something to say back to you, buddy. So maybe just don't do that. Kisker, you sent me an email. Let me go and look. I'll see if share this photo of. Oh, when did that? Wow. All right. I don't know if I can share it. Well, hold on. Yeah, I can. Give me a second. What can you describe the circumstances behind this photo that we're about to look at? Now, perhaps this is an example of parody. Hold on, it's going to take me a second to get this up. Hold on, guys. Ram, tell the nice people the joke or something.
So Dick Mac recently moved to the desert.
No, not that joke.
Silly joke, I know. Let's see.
All right. Oh, we'll learn you some more. Hold on. All right, I'm going to share screen. Window. Here we go. So Kisker sent me this. Can you see this or?
Just a second. You have to go full screen, and there it is.
Nice. So maybe that was intended as some kind of satire. Nice, Kisker. Thank you. Chille to Clownstro. There it is. That seems like a good place to leave it, I think.
I think so.
Are you gonna?
No, we're 2 hours in. I'm still recovering from yesterday, so
yeah.
Try to get my bearings straight.
You went camping again, right?
Yeah, I went camping
with your buddy.
With my buddies.
Oh gosh, guys, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Appreciate everybody being here as usual. And Thursday night, I'm assuming same bat time, same bat channel. Will be Patrol live stream.
Yeah, at some point too. Yeah, I do either want to do an all Navy stream because Navy Girl and Navy Tex and Jet, who are all Navy folk, have all reached out to me about coming on and doing a live. And I think it'd be kind of cool to do a full Navy stream.
There you go.
We can have Ram your special, make you an honorary member.
An honorary Navy member.
Yep.
You met me in what bar?
You will have to perform a ceremonial reach around, of course.
Right, yeah.
But that's just standard stuff. Oh man. Yes.
Let's
thank
see
you,
what
everybody.
we got here. Yeah, say goodnight to a few people. Deb, thank you. Vince, Kisker, thanks for the photo. Let's see.
Yep. Liz, Logan, Raven, Texas Mad Dog,
Anna Bond, as usual.
Prissy,
we love you.
Thank you. Hope your garden's going well.
Yeah.
She's got a garden there. And
Yeah.
actually, Yvonne has a garden too.
Vaughn has a hell of a garden. She sent me quite the profile of her garden. She's got it going on now.
Nice. Oh, potted plants, Prissy. I got you. Yeah, my mom for Mother's Day, that was one of her treats. She went out and worked in her garden. It's her favorite thing to do. So.
Oh yes, and belated Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Hope you
Yep.
had a wonderful day.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Allah, I gotta see this. Allah freaking Bama. Everyone gotta get the Yep, y'all be
Yep.
good.
You be good too.
All right.
Lady,
wait
yep.
a minute.
Oh,
Diamond Draco
honorary
says
shellback.
$2. Shellback.
Honorary shellback. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I actually missed out on the Westpac because my enlistment was up right before they were going out for the full cruise, and I had done all the workups and stuff. So I was like, man, I really want to get out. I mean, I didn't want to stay in forever, but I felt it was kind of foolish to do all those workups and everything and then not, take a trip around the world. So I extended right before we left, and they sent my paperwork in and some yeoman like inverted 2 numbers or something like that. So we got the news of that happening while we were underway to Hawaii. And so, like, I don't know, 6 a.m. or something, somebody come kicks my fucking rack. Hey, get up! You gotta get out of here. We got 10 minutes to pack. So they, yeah, I was like, what? And yep, they shot me off I got to take a cat shot. That was the only good thing about it. But yeah, I missed out on being a shellback, so that kind of sucked. But oh well, you win some, you lose some, right?
All right, Vaughn, good night to you. Caddy says, well, I'm glad you found us too, Caddy. I mean, you know where we're at. You're not a stranger here. I guess I haven't seen you in a while. Of course, I should pay more attention to the chats. I see you in the comments.
Oh, no, Logan, I was in San Diego. Before you leave for the cruise, you go to Hawaii first.
Who'd you have to
But for the rest of it, who the fuck did I have to blow? That's a whole another episode of the show. So we don't want to start that at the end of the night. You know, that's a long list.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you Thursday night on Dickbag's live stream.
Ladies and gentlemen, take my advice. Pull down your pants. Slide on the ice.
Good night, everybody.